Hello my friends, and welcome to the metal shop. Today we are doing hopefully will be the final assembly of the Fast Eddie Clarke Ace of Spades Tribute Stratocaster. So we're up to this point. You've seen all this where I put the pickguard on and did some assembly. I got the Stratocaster logo applied and clear coated. And I've got a couple videos, a couple of shorts that you should have seen. Hopefully I'll put them at the beginning of this video. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot this a couple of ways just for my subscribers to know. I'm going to do the video of the assembly where I'll fast forward and put it to music and make a nice short little compact, nice sanitized YouTube video that hopefully won't be terribly long, 20 minutes or less, I hope. I'm also going to use this opportunity I'm going to do this in full length, and I'm going to talk about a few subjects, and I will title it something completely different, and I'll use a different image for a thumbnail, but I'm going to talk about YouTube's new monetization rules. I'm going to talk about guitar trolls, YouTube trolls, and Instagram trolls, and I'm just going to talk, and it'll probably be, a very long video, a very long-winded video. So be watching for both of those. There's my cue. Okay. So, what do I want to talk about here while I do this? Let's see. Got this all taped up. And there's probably going to be some long pauses in here, and this video is not going to be shot for the typical viewer, but I hope you guys will watch this. And what I really want to talk about, the topic is here. Let's preface this. Let's tell you a little joke. And if you're a guitar player, you probably heard this one before. How many guitar players does it take to change a light bulb? And the answer is 100. 1 to actually change the light bulb, 99 to tell him that he's doing it wrong and or that they could do it better. And that's pretty funny. Haha. But if you're a guitar player, you know exactly what I mean. I mean, there's something that I say a lot is that every guy with a swinging beep thinks he's a guitar player. He thinks he can do it, thinks he can go out and buy a guitar, and I can play the guitar. I'm a guitar player. If you own a guitar, you think that you're a guitar player. Fine. Now, just to be clear, I'm guilty of doing the same things that I am going to gripe about in this bitch session. I've done it too, when I was younger, and even, I'm a little older, hopefully wiser now. And eventually every once in a while, I still revert to being a troll, being a holier than thou, being a know-it-all type of guitar player. But anyway, so anybody who owns a guitar thinks they're a guitar player and thinks that they know more than you. They could just go out and buy a guitar and instantly they're qualified to give you advice. I mean, I've been playing for 35 years. Not the greatest guitar player in the world, not the worst guitar player in the world. I think I'm pretty good. A lot of people think that I'm a good guitar player, but you put out a couple of videos on YouTube where you're actually playing, and whoa, the comments roll in. You're a crappy guitar player. I'm gonna try and clean this up. They say, you're a shitty guitar player. your tone sucks, your guitar sucks. And that's another thing that I just can't stand. I had a guitar teacher when I was a kid, and I was, a teenager, and you all know this guy. He is, whatever equipment he has is the best stuff money can buy. It's this just the best. I remember this guy. He had a wine red, a Les Paul Standard, and he had a Charvel Model 4, which is the bolt-on with the hum single signal. Dots, rosewood board, made in Japan, decent guitars. I believe his had a Kaler. It was one of the early ones that still had a Kaler on it before they switched to a Jackson style tremolo. And he had a little Marshall combo, a little tube combo, 2x12, and that was nice. But his guitars were the best you could get, and he would tell you over and over that all the best guitars, you need this. And his Gibson was I don't know what year this was, but it was, probably mid-'80s. Les Paul was nothing special. It really wasn't. Not special at all. And that Model 4, okay. Okay guitars, but anyway. We all know that guy where the stuff that he has is the best stuff that money can buy. Now these are still really tight. So I'm gonna have to do this some more with the drill. Anyway, so anybody who's ever picked up a guitar is qualified to tell you that they're a better guitar player than you. The way you're playing that song wrong. Your tone stinks, and I can't stand it. All right, I don't like. And something that I've learned, and I will say this, I will repeat this over and over and over and over again in this video, is with guitar playing, there's no absolutes. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that. There are no absolutes. What works for you may not work for someone else. What works for the hordes, the masses, it may not work for you. So I hate these guys that say, "Oh, you play that song wrong." No, I don't. I play it the way I play it. Does it sound right? Sure. You guys know, if you're a guitar player, you can play a guitar in different positions, and it doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. Is it by right or wrong? Is it the way that the artist played it on the record? Maybe that's the difference between what's right and what is wrong. But there's more than one way to get to the same place. So anyway, these guys, these internet warriors, these guys who feel, and I've done it a couple of times, I'm not innocent of this, where I've taken my comments down. There's really in all reality 2 times I commented on some YouTube videos, and I was a real dick. I was a real snarky, arrogant, know-it-all type of dick. And once a couple of people called me on my comments, they commented, or I got replies on. They called me out. They called me on my bullshit, and they were 100% right. And I took the comments down. One of them was some kids, and these were just the kids at like a rock camp or something, and they were playing, "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey, and I didn't think the performance was very good, and I said something, and they're just kids. Fine, that's okay, but he's playing. The lead guitar player is playing the solo with a Strat type of guitar with 21 frets. And if you play "Don't Stop Believing," you gotta get up to that 22nd fret and even bend up. You can't play the song on a Strat. But anyway, I'm not trying to get all over that. They're just kids. They were kids, and they're putting it out there. They're playing in front of people, and they were giving it hell. And I shouldn't have posted my snarky comment that I didn't feel the performance was very good. The stupid golden rule. It's everything nice to say. Don't say anything at all. I took, you know, someone called me on my bullshit, and I took the video, I took my comment down. I was, you know, you go back and read it, maybe I was had a bad day or whatever, and, you know, I took it down. Another one, and this guy was, I don't remember where he's from, I think he was from the UK or something like that, had a new, and these comments are taken down, I don't know if these videos are still up or not, he had a newer Charvel, like a San Dimas series Charvel, I don't know, double hum, pick guard, something, and he took the Floyd Rose out, and he modified this thing to take like a Wilkinson or some kind of trim, and he took the Floyd Rose locking clamp off and put some kind of Wilkinson roller nut or some kind of, I don't know what he put on there. It was, and I gave him crap about it. I compared it to, oh, I got this Ferrari, it goes way too fast, I want the engine taken out, and I got this 1970s Pinto engine, why don't you put that in there? And that's kind of what I said. And it was a dick thing to say. It really was. It's his guitar, he can do with it whatever he wants, you know, and quite honestly, I'm being 100% honest here, those are the two things that I said on YouTube that I really wished I hadn't said. It was really, anyway, so my point is that, you know, once I post up a video of me playing the guitar, and you guys can see it, it's out there, the comments start rolling in. Your guitar playing sucks. Your tone sucks. Your amp sucks. The guitar you're playing sucks. I mean, anything they can criticize, they will. If they don't like your carpet in the video, they don't like your whatever in the video, then you know, you're going to hear about it. I like to put a straight edge on the back of the tuners, make sure that they're all pretty level. And what I found, I did have a point to this story, I think, kind of, sort of. My point was, the guys who troll you, who feel free to say, your tone stinks, your amp stinks, that guitar stinks, and you get the inverse of that too, where the guitar in the video that I'm talking about, the performance video, was an Epiphone. Not a huge fan of Epiphones, but whatever. And so you have, it's funny because you have the guys that say Epiphones are junk, you know, that Asian made crap, blah blah blah. But then you have the other guys who own Epiphones who are like, those are the best guitars made. I have three, I got this one, I got that one, I got the other one. It's hilarious. But it's funny because I only had, I don't remember how many. I take the comments down. I might have a little back and forth with them, but eventually I take the comments down. Because I don't, you know, whatever. GFY. You guys know what GFY means. That's how I feel about it. So, but to a person, I mean, I don't remember, I didn't keep track of how many. Every single one, of these guys who felt that they were qualified to comment on my guitar playing and my amp setup and my guitar and whatever, guess what? Every single one of them, I mean, this is backed up 100%. I checked them out. Their channels, no content. No content whatsoever. None. I mean, a couple guys had a couple, 3 videos, but it was nothing, no guitar playing, nothing even guitar related. Nothing of them putting themselves out there playing the guitar, of course. And I called the guys on that. I'm like, hey, why don't you get it, when your channel gets some content, why don't you, you know, then you can come back and criticize me. Sorry, I just can't keep this video clean. I have to, you know, cut it loose here. Shitty guitar players, guys who have no confidence whatsoever in their own guitar playing, they're the ones who are going to call you out. Guess what? The guys, and I consider these guys heavy hitters on YouTube, some of my favorite guys. I like Mark Day. Check out his channel. I like Private Tricker, and he has a new channel now because he got sick of all the bullshit, excuse me, all of the negative comments. He had to disable comments for his videos. But Private Tricker, Mark Day, and Satch Boogie, and he spells it B-O-O-G-G-Y, or B-O-G-G-Y, Satch Boogie. Satch Boogie. Check out these guys' channels on YouTube. Tremendous guitar players. Guys like that aren't going to your channel. I mean, I'm sure they are, and they're watching, checking out your videos, but they're not trolling you. They're not saying you stink, because guess what? because they're good. They're really good. They don't have anything to prove. They're great guitar players. They know they're great guitar players. They don't have to belittle somebody else to make themselves feel good. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't fall into that trap. That's why I took those comments down. Because I think I'm a damn good guitar player. And I'm not going to belittle anybody who's putting it out there, who's making their own YouTube video of them performing. I'm not gonna belittle them. I'm gonna support them. If I got something, constructive to say, I'll say it like, hey, maybe. And guys that criticize, I'm not thin-skinned. I'll take the criticism. I don't care. You can't say anything that's gonna hurt my feelings. That's gonna make me cry myself to sleep at night. If you want to criticize, I love the constructive criticism. Somebody said that Epiphone that I did the review video on. They said, I wish that you didn't use so much distortion. Why does everybody use so much distortion when they're showing a guitar? This guitar with the P90s is meant to be played clean. And that was a great criticism. Why do you use so much reverb? And as long as you're constructive in it, that's great. Don't, the absolutes. God, I hate the absolutes. Reverb sucks. Line 6 sucks. Your tone sucks. Shut up. You want to criticize, be constructive. And if I have something constructive to say, I might say it. Like, hey, you're a really good guitar player. This is really good. I'll find something positive in it, even if I think that it's not very good. I'll try and find something positive to say. But these guys with no content, cutting up your channel, you're laying it out there, and whatever. Losers, absolute losers. Guys who can't play, they suck, and they need to make you feel shitty to try and make themselves feel better. So anyway, like I said, so yeah, I like, guys, hey, could you please do a clip, playing it clean? Could you do a clip without reverb? Could you try a clip without less distortion? Those guys are great, love those guys. I'm gonna give a pause here because I need to go get a tiny little drill bit for yeah, the trolls. Every swinging dick thinks he's freaking Eddie Van Halen, But that Epiphone that I did the review on, I was a little critical of it. That was the point. It's a inexpensive offshore made guitar, and the review I did was right out of the box. It hadn't been set up, so I critiqued it. That, hey, this guitar hasn't been set up. It didn't have a good setup. Like they said that, oh no, the guitar is built, it's built overseas, but real Gibson techs, Gibson USA techs inspect it, and I'm sure they do inspect it. They probably look at it in the box and say, yeah, that one's good. Do they actually play it? Do they actually do a setup? I doubt it. They probably look at a whole pallet of them with 50 guitars in their cases and say, yep, those are all good. Quite honestly, do I think that actually happens? Yeah, I do. This guitar was not set up. It certainly was not set up by a professional guitar tech. And yeah, I'm driving these screws in on a tiny little bit of an angle because the hole from the original tuners is close, but hey, whatever. I didn't have to drill extra holes in the back of the headstock. So, I'm never going to disable comments. I'm not a snowflake. I'm not going to, I'm not going to melt. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to cry myself to sleep if you want to, say something mean. But if you are just a troll, just a straight up troll, who said, you suck, your tone sucks, that guitar sucks, blah, 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 and you're one of those no content trolls, I'll just delete your comment. You're not going to get, people feel like, you know, they're being heard by doing this. I use a 16th drill bit bar there, if anybody cares. 16th inch drill bit. They feel like their voice is heard because they're taking a video that has, you know, 10, 15,000 views and putting a comment on it. Most people don't read below the first handful of comments. I mean, you're not going to be heard on my channel. You're just a troll. You're not going to be heard. So whatever, have at it. I want to talk a little bit about these guys, and I'm going to say his name, and he's one of the worst offenders on YouTube. But there's a lot of guys that are like him. Again, like I said, I had the guitar teacher who, whatever he had was the best stuff money could buy. And you guys probably know who I'm talking about. It's Scott Grove. And the thing that Scott Grove is a great guitar player. He is a monster guitar player. He has a great collection. I mean, he has lived the dream. He has made a living as a guitar player. You know, playing with bands, you know, session stuff, the stuff he does now with the lessons. And he's able to write everything off, all his business expenses, buying and selling guitars, his tools of the trade. He talks about that. But the thing that I cannot stand about Scott Grove is it's his way or the highway. The way, if I'm Scott Grove, the way I do it is the right only way to do it. It's the right way to do it. And with guitar playing, that's just not the case. He doesn't use guitar polish. He uses water or whatever, you know. Guitar. It's polish. It's something that is explicitly made for your guitar. You know, it has waxes in it. It has cleaners in it. It has whatever that it has in it. It's made for polishing a guitar. I use actual guitar polish. I don't use spit. There's Gibson, here's Fender. I don't care which. I use guitar polish on my guitars because it works better, because it's made for a guitar. I use oil on the fretboard. I use lemon oil. Dunlop Ultimate Lemon Oil on my fretboard. Why? Because it works. It's wood. A fretboard is wood. It was once a living, breathing, quote unquote, breathing thing. Water and wood don't mix. He wants to clean your fretboard with spit and water. Water and wood don't mix. What does water do to wood? Water rots wood. Water raises the grain on wood. It's, you know, sure you can clean it, but, and I'm not saying that my way is right either. You know, again, I don't want to be like him where it's absolute, no, you must use guitar polish. You must use oil. No, but I love to say this. This is something that I say all the time. Your mileage may vary. Okay? Try it. I'm giving you this advice. Take it, leave it, do what you want with it. I use guitar polish. I use oil. I use steel wool to clean my fretboards. You know, you put a little piece of tape over the pickups so the steel. Some guys are like, oh my God, no steel wool. Don't ever use steel wool. Why not? Who cares? Whatever works for you. Look at this. Guys talk about this. The springs in the back of the guitar set up like this. I mean, they will dedicate a video to this is wrong. It's so wrong. It's just wrong. I have original Floyd Rose paperwork telling you how to properly set up and maintain your Floyd Rose with a picture, a graphic depiction, and it shows the spring set up just like this. Is it right? I don't know. It works for me. I was at my buddy's house the other day. Monster player, way better than I am, way better than you are, I'm sure. He uses 2 springs. It works for him. You can use 5. Whatever works for you. It just doesn't matter. I'm not sure if this is going to need a shim or not. We really won't know until it comes time to string it up. I tried this out though, and the brass, although it does protrude into the pocket here just a little tiny bit, it still lines up right where it needs to be, and it will still go on there just right. All the screw holes still line up. So I'm going to try it with without any shims to start with. I'm not sure if the Fender's made to have shims or not. I always use these gaskets, these pads, these neck plates, this little piece of plastic. I'm just a firm believer in them. They'll keep these things, you know, your neck plates from bending and so on. Again, right here. In the old days, Fender didn't use these. Charvel in the beginning didn't use these pads. And now I think everybody uses the pads, but whatever. You know, I'm not the type of asshole. It's like, oh, if you're not using a pad, you're not using a neck plate pad. You don't have a clue. You don't know what you're doing. You're an idiot. Give me a break. You know, one guy out there, he has a video, and it's all about the proper way to store your guitars. And guess what? The way he does it is right. He hangs them all from hangers. Now, look at that. From like a string swing type of hanger. And those are great. Most of my guitars hang from string swing hangers here in the back. But just never leave them in a case. Never put them on a guitar stand. And if you get a quality guitar stand, they're fine. I mean, you do have to be safe. If this is an expensive guitar, you know, with a nitro finish, something from the 50s or 60s, then you better know what you're doing. You better have the thing on a proper guitar hanger or guitar stand that is made for those finishes, because we've all seen the finishes chipped away here. You guys can't see it, it's off camera, but right where it hangs, we've all seen the finishes chip away there from those rubbers, whatever those things, those string hangers are made out of, eating away at the finish, or down here on the butt of the guitar from sitting on a stand. But a guitar like this guitar could sit on a stand for its entire life. This guitar could sit in a case for its entire life. And yes, I've seen cases bleed even into finished necks. I have an old PV Mystic over there that obviously lived most of its life in the case, has a finished neck, has thick, poly clear on the neck, and it still bled, that fur bled through the wood onto the neck. Man, I'm relicking this as we go too, because I can't run the screwdriver. So I don't care. So you'll see here, I don't know if you can make this out or not. Let's see. Yeah, there, you can see that. That was from the sander I was using. It skipped. When I was using that vibratory palm sander deal, I kind of was going in this edge here, and I got off onto the the hard metal side. It shattered right over that. Had kind of a neat little distinction there. So, stand by. So I went to get the strings, and that just reminded me. So I got the elixirs. I like the elixirs. I think they're great. My dad had a guitar. I played it, and I was like, wow, this sounds really good. These are great. You just changed the strings? He's like, no, they've been on for like a month, 6 weeks. I'm like, what are you using? He's like, oh, I'm using these elixirs. Cool. So I gave them a try. They work pretty good. But there's that guy that I talked about. These are the only strings that are worth a shit in the entire world, are the elixirs, because that's what I use. I've been a D'Addario user for most of my playing career. I used to use the GHS Boomers, which actually are excellent strings, and if you are a gigging musician and have someone changing your strings for you on a nightly basis, they're great. But in my opinion, the Boomers, and I think you can still get them, they'd go dead in like a week. These are 10 to 46, but I've been a D'Addario user, D'Addario, however you want to say it, basically my entire playing career. And that guy, that internet guy, the internet expert, the guy that know-it-all, he knows everything in the whole world, D'Addario strings are, just garbage, just crap. Worst thing money can buy. And D'Addario makes coated strings now too, and I've used them as well, and I think they are pretty good. As good as the elixirs? I guess. I don't know. They're coated string. Got those ball ends there for when you're doing the Les Paul wraparound. There's another thing, the wraparound. Don't wrap around your bridge, your tune-o-matic bridge. Don't do the wraparound. That's not right. That's not the way it was intended. That's not the design. You know, and it's like, okay, well, it works. These are going to be drilled out. I'm using these just, again, this is just something I had. I think these are from a bass. Not even sure. These string trees. The holes need to be drilled out. These are a little bit bigger. They're just nice. They happen to be gold. They match. Whatever. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to drill out the headstock for those larger screws. Alright, so we got the string trees installed on there. We'll have to adjust their height. After which, another thing that reminds me. Well, Gibson angles their headstocks back. That's the right way to do it. Well, Fender does this. That's the right way to do it. Well, Fenders are great. Gibsons are great. They both sound great in their own respect. They're different. They sound different. You should have both guitars, in my opinion. I used to be a Gibson guy, and Fender, I used to think Fender stunk. And I would tell everybody, oh, Fender, those are cheap guitars. Those are just, you know, mass-produced, inexpensive guitars. Those are learner, you know, beginner guitars. What do I know? I didn't know anything. Fenders have a great sound all their own. Can't get them from a Gibson, and vice versa. Which way is right? Don't know. Doesn't really matter. You know, it's like, yeah, sure, the Fender headstock, the neck joint here is a lot stronger. Fender necks, very rarely do you ever see one of them broken. The Gibson neck angle, though, that works. The sound, the tone, all their own, you know, nothing wrong with that either. But you have the guys out there, the experts, oh, one's better than the other. There's a few things, again, no absolutes. Your mileage may vary. Try it. What works for you? A couple things that I'm going to do a video about strap locks, so I'm not really going to get into that. I'll do one dedicated just to strap locks, because I'm super opinionated on a couple of the brands of strap locks, and that I will give you an absolute on those. It's my opinion, again. Take it for what's worth. It's worth what you paid for it. Just nothing. There's guys out there, these YouTube experts, these internet warriors, they think that tone woods don't matter. Okay. Some guitars are made of swamp ash, basswood, maple, poplar, whatever. They don't matter. Well, they do matter. Sound different to me. What do I know? Aged guitars, that's a marketing ploy. That's a farce. That's fake. That's blah, blah, blah. I don't believe it. I think an old guitar, you know, gets older, the wood gets older, it mellows, it ages, it sounds different. It's just science. But you have people that don't believe in science. Don't believe in global warming, don't believe in evolution, don't believe in the ideal gas law. I'm not getting into that stuff. I'm not, you know, we're not going into the theological side of things there. But people don't believe in science. Well, guitar as it ages, sound will change. The wood gets older, absorbs moisture, dissipates moisture, whatever. Uh-oh, there we go. Changes the way it sounds. I mean, I remember Eddie Van Halen is a tone monster. I mean, he knows how to get tone where people just don't. And he was putting stainless steel frets on some of his guitars. I don't remember which ones, if it was the Peavey version, the Ernie Ball version, the Music Man version, whatever. And he actually said that stainless steel frets don't alter the tone. I was like, what? Of course they do. Maybe he's right. I don't know. I don't think he's right. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? Try it for yourself. Warren DeMartini famously thinks that chrome Floyd Roses sound better than the black ones or the gold ones. Is he right? I don't know. To me, both those statements sound ridiculous. Of course, a stainless steel fret will affect your tone. Of course it will. the Floyd Rose thing, you know, the different finish, that I'm not so sure of. I don't know. Try it out. See what works. I got this new Music Nomad string winder. What? This thing is fantastic. This has precision ball bearings in it, and it is just a joy to use instead of those crappy freebies that you guys get. I've been using this thing for years. This piece of junk that came free with something I bought, and it sucks. This thing, this Music Nomad, wow. I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world. Works good for me. I really like it. You change a lot of strings. This is just better. And it looks like we're definitely going to have to raise our action here a little bit. I'm going to give a pause here. Alright, so we got it strung up. This thing needs some wicked setup. Action set way too low. It's got a wicked curve in this vintage trem. So I'm going to have to attack these saddles, and a couple of these strings won't even ring out. So it still needs quite a bit of work before it is playable. But I'm going to leave you with... oh my god, I can't believe he didn't tie those strings. When he strung that on a vintage trem, I can't believe he didn't tie the knot on those tuning pegs. You did it wrong. Please let me know in the comments. Anyway, my friends, so the next video should be, hopefully, a performance video with the Fast Eddie Clark Ace of Spades Tribute Stratocaster. Still needs quite a bit of work. I hope the rest of you hung in there through the full 40 minutes plus of my my rant, my soapbox rant about shitty internet trolls and how guys with zero talent have to try and belittle other guitar players to make themselves feel like they have any value whatsoever. So people that are doing that, right there. You got nothing to add to YouTube at all, so right there. Put some content on your channel, then give guys some constructive criticism. Otherwise, you know where it is. You know right where it's at. Again, so in closing, no absolutes. Whatever works for you. Gibson, Fender, Elixirs, D'Addario, guitar polish, spit, whatever. Whatever works for you. You know, just because you own a guitar doesn't qualify you to criticize someone else. Just because you've been playing for 30 years doesn't give you the right to criticize someone else. You're a better guitar player than they are. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. I will do a performance video of this up for your criticism very soon. I'm gonna play Ace of Spades. I'm teaching myself the Ace of Spades. Not a very complicated song. I know you can nail me on that. Oh, that song's easy. I don't know it. Never learned how to play it. I'm going to teach myself how to play it, and that's going to be the first song I'm going to play on this guitar. It'll be a performance video. So, as always, my friends, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. If you're new to the channel, give me a thumbs up. If you're so inclined, give me a thumbs down. If you didn't like the video, but please tell me why. Please be constructive in your criticism. And as always, take care, my friends. See ya.